Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time again for this week's Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, where political correctness is not spoken here. Compiled by G. Edward Griffin in his News Scouts for this week, June 8th through the 14th, 2013. And let's get started on the comic strip for this week. Google. Remember, the two O's are actually eyes looking back at you from the feds. Remember that. Alrighty then. On to the articles for this week. Headlines you may have missed. The Federal Reserve and the Treasury are partners in a scam that funnels freshly coded money, or created money, should be coded, created money, $40 billion per month from the Fed into the Treasury using Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae as the pipeline. You know, the criminals. Fannie and Freddie get the illusion of profits. The Federal Reserve gets the mortgage assets, many of which are in junk status. The government gets easy money to spend, and citizens pay the whole bill through inflation. Morph City, June 14th. See how the scam is going? Read the article to find out more. I'll have a link at the bottom of the video so you can go directly to the newsletter. Next, U.S. lawmakers are scurrying to change a provision in the Obamacare that subjects them to the same program as ordinary Americans, and they don't like it. Promoters of Obamacare are reassuring them not to worry because somehow they will be exempted against crony capitalism. And that's what it is, crony capitalism, not true capitalism. More like a fascism. 2013, June 13th. Criminals, I'm telling you, criminals. They're saying goose and gander to us. What's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. And they're the ganders in this particular mode. Lawmakers. Man. Bunch of liars. Ancient Roman and Greek liars. That's what they are. Whoever could lie the best won the case. That's what it's always been. Cubono is what the judges would ask. Who's profiting from this? And they were usually the ones who are guilty 90% of the time. Who's profiting? Okay, video. Next. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that human genes cannot be patented. The court also said that created or manipulated genes can be patented because they are not natural. Perhaps the deeper issue is not whether or not a patent should be issued, but what penalty should be paid by those who are even attempt to intervene or alter human genes. Russia Today, June 13th. Next, Obama is using the threat of large-scale war in Syria to distract attention from the multiple domestic scandals within his administration. He pledged to send arms to the rebels' forces, claiming that the Syrian government is using chemical weapons. There was no credible evidence to support that claim. Lou Rockwell, June 13th. Remember, this is a code word, rebel, for actually mercenaries. Because that's what these guys were. There was a story that came out that they were in the town that they just took back, Syrians did, and all these supposedly rebels ran like jackrabbits out of there. Why? Because they can't spend their paycheck if they get killed from being a mercenary. They're paid warriors, paid killers. What do you think? Man. It's obvious that they're mercenaries. Obvious. Gallup poll shows that only 10% of Americans approve of Congress. Only 10%. That shows you all those Congress critters, except for 10% of them, should be kicked out immediately. Resign. Go back to home to retire. Most of them are neocons. A lot of them are rhinos. It's just unreal. And a good amount of the Democrats, if not most of them, are socialist, Marxist Fabians. Oh, man. With a touch of with Obama in there, fascism and corporate control of government, which that's the definition of fascism. That's the all-time lowest rating ever recorded, not just for Congress, but for any institution. The only thing amazing about this finding is the 10%. Well, we know who the 10% is. It's the one that's for America, Mom and Apple Pie, and the Constitution. Activist Post, June 13th. Next, article to keep for future reference. Glyphosate. Get that right. The key ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup Ready herbicide has been found to cause breast cancer cells to multiply, even at very low concentrations, parts per trillion. This is no small matter because glyphosate is used globally and increasingly found in rain, air, rain, and groundwater. Green Med, June 13th. Yes, this stuff here is a organism poison. It's basically now is being used as a human rat poison. Don't you know? It's there to kill you off. They're afraid of us. There's more of us than there are of them, the ones that are running everything. They are the them. And they're terrified of us because they can't rule over us and stomp our heads forever, as it said in 1984. With a boot. Anyways, U.S. Representative Jeff Duncan discovered IRS agents training with semi-automatic weapons at a federal facility, stating that he could not fathom why they would need that type of firepower. This is unsettling because the government has been stockpiling ammunition for use inside America and increasingly targeting conservative organizations as potential domestic terrorists. USBC News, June 13th. This here is a red flag, people. I don't care if you agree with it. When they take care of the conservatives and organizations that are potentially to them domestic, you're next. You're next on the list. You're going to be next. They're just trying to get rid of the opposition that can stop them. And then after that, they'll come after you because you couldn't stop them if you wanted to. You're just weak lily bellies and you're jellyfish. No spineless humans. Can't stand up for your own self. Slaves. That's all you are, slaves. Next video. Congressman Peter King is calling for the prosecution of Glenn Greenwald, the journalist who broke the NSA spying story. King says that Greenwald is threatening to release the names of CIA agents, but Greenwald says that the congressman is lying and made up that story to strengthen his case. InfoWars, June 13th. That's right. See, they can lie, cheat, and everything, and make up stuff saying, "This guy's going to do this." When the guy's going, "I'm not going to do that. You can't touch me until I do," basically. So, bug off. Damn, fucking paparazzi government buzzing around you all the time, trying to find something that I can be control freaks with. Power hungry, power mad. Headstrong madness. Man. Whistleblower. Next article. Edward Snowden showed documents to reporters in Hong Kong verifying that the U.S. has been hacking into Chinese computer networks since 2008. This is embarrassing to the U.S. government, which has been highly critical of China for attempting the same thing to American computer networks. Business Insider, June 12th. And it's probably all true, probably so, because now they're coming out with a second whistleblower who's coming out and saying, yes, everything that Snowden was saying is true. You are all being spied on every day. You're being collected by bots. These little listening computer programs that listen in to every phone call and everything. You say a certain word that they have flagged as a look at this word. They send it directly to one of these agents in the NSA who gets a little light come on or a beep on his computer, and then he gets on there and reads what you said on your telephone conversation or written on your computer or typed on your iPad. This is how that works. The thing to do is everybody, now this is something that you should do. Everybody should start using the red alert words that will set these bots off. If we can get 200 million people every day, every time they make a call, saying these magical words, bomb, explosives, nukes, and just keep going down the list of every word you can think of, you'll overrun these bots. The system will be overran. There's no way the system can do this. It will crash down. It will crash it. We can crash the NSA's computer system because it won't be able to handle the load. It's not designed to handle that load. It's designed to listen to maybe one or two from each person, everyday messages. But if you do it 20, 30 times a day and it's all 200 million people, just do the math. You'll see how much that is and then see if their system can handle such a feat. I doubt it can. I doubt the workers, 2,000 plus, how many they got listening in to check these bots' reports out, will be able to handle the load. They'll be coming in faster and they know what to do with. They'll have to hire as many of people in the United States as there are people making communications. Next. Another article to keep for future reference. New study shows that pigs that were fed genetically engineered soy and corn suffered from severe stomach damage. Also, the pigs' reproductive organs were found to be abnormal, increasing the possibility of infertility. Natural News, June 12th. Don't you see what they're doing with this stuff? Soy, the genetically engineered soy, the stuff they put in everything, and oils and everything, in your corn chips and your corn made out of that. Severe stomach damage, reproductive organ damage. They're trying to sterilize you and give you cancer and kill you. Don't you see? Human rat poison is what they got out there. It's human type rat poison. And you're not waking up if you're not seeing it. If you're not paying attention. You got to pay attention. This is what's going on. Video. Obama has broken his campaign promise to stop government spying on the U.S. citizens. Of course, he's lied about everything. Only thing he's for is anything that's damaging to the U.S. citizen. Senator Rand Paul explains that this kind of hypocrisy is why so many people are fed up with the government. Paul is preparing a class action lawsuit, good for him, against NSA spying and seeks to recruit 10 million plaintiffs to send a message to lawmakers. Fox News, June 11th. You can join in the class action lawsuit here. Just click here. Sign up. Sign in. Put your name up there. Say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. For the NSA and the rest of this scandals and district of criminals. Anyways, next video. Top U.S. State Department officials have been shutting investigations into multiple prostitution scandals and a drug case that resulted in U.S. agents killing 4 people. None of the allegations have been confirmed, but how could they be when the State Department shuts down the investigation? They're shutting down the investigation saying, there's nothing to see here, we're shutting it down. Even though they haven't proven it isn't true or confirmed it. This is criminal activity right before your very eyes. And if you're not awake enough, it'll go right over your head like a joke that you don't understand. CNN, June 11th. Man, they've done a good job with fluoride and GMOs and other poisons they put everywhere and everything. Oh, man. Terrible. Some Americans find government spying acceptable, but citizens of Germany, Italy, Russia, and many other countries are repulsed by it. They remember WW2, World War II communist and fascist regimes that did the same thing. In the U.S., too, class action lawsuits have been filed against the NSA, one by former Justice Department prosecutor and another by an ACLU person. Economic collapse, or by the ACLU organization. Economic collapse, June 11th. Next. U.S. A shooting spree at Santa Monica Community College proves once again that strict gun control laws and gun-free school zones are failures. American Thinker, June 10th. I just keep thinking of it as, people on SSRIs and just crazies out there are looking at these signs saying gun-free zone. And it says open shooting range, moving targets. Come, you're welcomed. And that's what it's probably saying in their twisted and messed up minds from the SSRIs, the serotonin uptake drugs, the Prozac, all these other ones. I'm having trouble right now thinking about Prozac's the only one that comes to mind, but all those drugs are related. They're all got fluoride. Most of them has fluoride in, or a derivative of it. Wonder why they're gone nuts then. It's breaking their brain apart. Madness. This keeps going, doesn't it? Madness can't explain it. A German privacy official has called Microsoft's new Xbox One video game player a twisted nightmare. Its microphone and cameras are capable of constant recording. Its cameras can record in the dark, can count how many people are in the room, and can monitor blood flow beneath the skin. Slate, June 10th. They are spying on you through your new Xbox. They're watching you. They know everything you're doing. And if you do anything, say anything against any of them, they'll just send a SWAT team to you and say, look, we got the evidence right here on this reel, on this disc. And they'll take you in, arrest you, and you'll be a slave in a prison camp. Basically one of those new prisons where they got factories attached to them, where you make widgets for 25 cents an hour. Welcome to China. Welcome to places like Bangladesh and slave laborers. Oh, madness. Next, U.S. The Department of Fatherland Security, not Homeland, it's Fatherland Security. Homeland Security has admitted that it was conducting a training drill at the Boston Marathon using backpacks filled with explosives. This is incredibly important because training exercises have coincided with the majority of real terrorist events since 9/11. The probability that this is a mere coincidence is zero. You've sure seen it. I have a video up already on here that shows that they had these guys with the cat with the skull on it, carrying the same backpack they showed pictures of all over the newspapers and everything. A black backpack with a white stripe on the top and gray bands for the straps. And it was the same as about 4 of these guys were carrying. And then next thing you see, only 3 of them are carrying one after the explosion. Amazing. Story leak, June 10th. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. False flags just to take your rights and keep you scared. That's what it's all about. Taking your rights and keeping you scared and turning you into an obedient little slave to the government so they can take everything you own and have back and say you didn't own that. It's like you didn't make that. Somebody else made that. Therefore it belongs to them. See how that Obama speech crap came out? It comes out like that in my mind. You didn't make that. Somebody else made it. So now you got to give it back. That money, you didn't make that money. The Federal Reserve made that money. Now you got to give it back to us. That's what he was basically saying. All right, next. J.P. Morgan stands to lose $1.6 billion because of its part in the municipal bond scam in Jefferson County, Alabama. The scam involved financing a new sewer system that was supposed to cost $250 million, but after political bribes and other costs of corruption were paid, ended up costing taxpayers $3 billion. Who pocketed the money? Who bono? Who profited from all this? There was your criminal. As usual, bank executives will not be jailed or fined. Motley. Fool. June 10th. See? Cubono. Just remember Cubono. Oh my gosh. The criminals are obvious. Video. California has an illiteracy rate of over 23%. Because they're all all being controlled. The students aren't learning nothing. They're being examined, watched, psychologically evaluated by the teachers and everything. They don't teach them anything, don't you know? Which ranks it near the bottom compared to countries of the world. It is on par with Burundi in the Congo. Los Angeles County is even lower. That is because the state is burdened with illegal immigrants, most of whom are illiterate in their native language. Wow, that even makes it worse on them. If you're illiterate in your home language, like Spanish or Mexican, which is an Indian dialect of Spanish, once in America, they are not motivated to become literate in English either. Full disclosure, June 9th. So they become gang members and do other things because they don't have nothing that can give them a job or anything. I mean, it's all part of the same psychobabble crap they've been doing in California for years. Trying to make it, saying, look, we just need to spend more money. Let's throw more money on the fire. That will fix the fire. I'll put the fire out if we just throw more money on it. Oh, God. U.S. Senator Mark Udall proposed a reopening the Patriot Act and imposing surveillance limits following recent revelations of illegal NSA spying on Americans. Nice speech, Senator. But we have a few questions. If you want to introduce legislation to amend the Patriot Act, to get rid of the act, why not just do it instead of giving speeches about it? That's why do it. I'd say just abolish it. Senator, why did you vote for the Patriot Act in the first place? And if the NSA violated the law in the past, why do you think it will obey the law after it is amended? Are you grandstanding, Senator? We will be watching to see what you do when the public spotlight has shifted to other matters. Ritter's June 9th. He's just grandstanding. He would be pushing to have this thing abolished immediately. The Patriot Act is no more patriot than the Communist Act of, or even the Communist Act of Marx. It's no more patriot than the Communist Act. It has nothing to do with patriotism and everything to do with control and domination, collectivism. That's what it comes down to. Alright, next video. Edward Snowden, former CIA and NSA contractor and computer technician, has come forward as a source of leaked classified documents exposing the NSA's secret surveillance program. In this interview conducted in Hong Kong, he explained why he became a whistleblower and why he is hiding, or isn't hiding. Guardian, June 8th. Remember, this is in recession. The newest article is at the top, say the 14th. Now we're down back to the 8th of June. So remember that when I'm reading this. It sounds like, well, I already know about this. Well, I'm receding in time instead of advancing in time from the oldest to the newest. I'm doing newest to the oldest because that's how the newsletter is set up. It updates throughout the week, so drop back by this newsletter throughout the week and there may be an update at some point. At least that's what I was told. Video. U.S. Watch the National Intelligence Director James Clapper lie to the Congressional Committee. When asked if the NSA collects data on millions of Americans, he nervously rubs his forehead and says, no, not wittingly. In other words, they're told forcibly to do it. Now, because of leaked documents, it is known that the NSA has been quite willing or wittingly collecting data on millions of Americans for years. It is no wonder that Clapper is one of the loudest voices calling for prosecution of the whistleblower. But it is Clapper who should be prosecuted, not the whistleblower. The whistleblower was a good guy. He told on a guy doing criminal activity. In other words, if you do criminal activity, you get rewarded in this state of America government. But if you are a good guy and you report that corruption and criminal activity, you get punished. What's up with that? What upside down, backwards, inside out crap is that coming out of our government? This government it's not real. It's not legal, I should say. This government's not legal. Reason, June 8th. It's not. It should be shut down and restarted, and all these people fired and tried, and then put all new blood in there who study the Constitution, who took constitutional law, who understand what law should be in the land, understand common law, and that's who should start this country back up again. And get rid of all these bought out, lobby-paid criminals, because you get money from a lobbyist, you owe that lobbyist a favor. That's just how it is. Just remember that. That's just how it is. That's why the lobbyists got to be taken out. They got to make it harder for the lobbyists. We'd send all these Congress critters and senators back to their states, and they're only allowed to get together when they have a major bill to pass. Otherwise, let them stay in their own state. Force these lobbyists to go state to state, spending millions of dollars to do such, and they won't do it as often. And if they do, we'll be able to track the ones there are, and then follow them back. See where the money comes from for them, Cubono again, and find out who the criminal behind it all is. Who's making these guys make decisions that are not for the people, because we are the government. They are our servants. They bow to us, not the other way around. But somehow they got it in their mind that the American people bow to the government. Government is not God. The people are above government. God above the people. See, that's the steps of how this works. There's God on top, then the people, then government. I don't know how many times that hasn't been spoke enough. Okay, next video. The New York State Senate passed a law that makes it a felony to annoy a police officer with physical contact. Physical contact is not defined, so it can be interpreted as anything, including struggling or even an accidental bump. So as long as the officer says the body contact was annoying, an annoyer can be charged with a felony and serve up to 4 years in prison. Ridiculous. Unless you actually punch the fucking police officer as hard as you can and almost knock his ass out, and you shouldn't be touched by him. He puts his pants on the same as you do. He's not above the law. He's not above the same law. If he's poking on you, you have the right to poke back, if not worse, because he assaulted you first. And that's happened a lot too, where a person would be assaulted first by the police and then retaliate, and then the police says, he hit me and injured me, and even though the guy now has 2 black eyes, a broken arm, and everything, he's guilty. These guys are not above the law. They can't even make a decision to use. I mean, they're taught in karate and stuff, physical defense attack methods, but yet they choose because they're lazy. They're either lazy, fat, or don't know how to use their arts, and they will pull the gun out first and shoot you, if not the taser, and tase you first, and the taser will come out if you just talk back at the cop one time because he's being a dick at you. Let's see, Russian television, June 8. Makes you mad. Here's something here. Here's another one of those flash mob in an Amsterdam shopping mall. Recreates a Rembrandt painting called The Night Watch. Click and be amazed by this. Once held in Tirag. I think that's how that's pronounced. Not too familiar on that old language. Okay, a video by the author of this newsletter. G. Edward Griffin explains the difference between individualism and collectivism, and how collectivist ideals have been accepted worldwide. Many topics are covered, including why collectivism leads to tyranny, why the predator class is attracted to government employment, how war and fear are used to push people into giving up their freedom, and why modern banking is the engine of political corruption. Tragedy and Hope magazine, June 12th. Very good information to find out. Should have had a star on it. for future reference. Video and star. Next, video. James Colbert compares the words of Andy Griffith in the TV show 50 years ago with the words of President Obama about 50 hours ago. The words relate to respect for privacy and due process. You are not like the comparison. Colbert Report, June 12th. And he makes a comparison here. Andy Griffith and Obama. And you'll see night and day on these comparisons of what things should be. What it was like 50 years ago and what it's like today. It's like night and day. It used to be daytime, now it's night. Put it that way. Video. The War on Health is a documentary showing how the FDA caters to the pharmaceutical industry. 40% of the agency is funded by Big Pharma. Pharmaceutical drugs are the #1 cause of death in the U.S., don't you know? And half of the drugs with the FDA approval are recalled within 5 years because they are killers. But the money just keeps rolling in. Gary Null, June 10th. Don't you see what they're doing? Don't you see what they're poisoning you in every direction. You know, doctors kill most people every year. 175,000 people die at the hands of doctors just by misprescription and all this different stuff. I mean, it's just scary. I'm telling you, it's very, very scary. All right, next article. Demand for silver coins is so high that the U.S. and the Canadian mints are using all of their domestic mined silver to fill orders. The mints are running at full capacity and still cannot get enough silver to meet demand. All of the silver used for jewelry and industry must be imported. What do you think that eventually will do to the price of silver? We think so too. Be aware that there is a difference between the spot price of precious metals and the physical delivery price. The spot price is based on future contracts in which the sellers don't actually have any metal. They merely promise to deliver at a future date at a specific price. When the contracts close, usually there is an exchange of money, not metal. The market is based on price speculation and not delivery of metal. Like with the game roulette, there are winners and losers. No one gets to take the little ball home. By contrast, the physical delivery prices are all the real things delivered at the time of payment. It is the real world price because sellers must actually have the metal they sell. And yes, it is higher than the spot price. You don't hear much about the physical delivery price because you are not supposed to think about it. Sinking Alpha, June 8th. And it's true. I mean, they were saying in some places the spot for coins, silver coins, is up to $10 over whatever the spot price is for just the physical delivery price. Or if you just go into a coin store and buy an ounce of silver, I think even a round has like $4 or $5 over the spot price. Just for them having it there. Amazing. Last article. Video. U.S. There is double standard regarding leaked classified information. Whistleblowers who leak information that is embarrassing to the administration are prosecuted and demonized in the media. Those who leak information that enhances the image of the administration are left unscanted. So if you kiss up to them, you're untouched. But if you point out things that are wrong with them, yeah. As a classic example, Leon Panetta, former head of the CIA, was the person who leaked classified information about the Navy SEALs who conducted the Osama bin Laden raid. But the Obama administration ignored it because it served as an effective propaganda for the government. Russian television, June 8th. See? This is what's going on. Do you see it yet? Do you understand? It scares me. And I was fearless. You know how that goes. It scares me and I was fearless. Here's some cypress trees. Cypress trees at Point Rise, California. They're nice looking. I like them when you can go down there and it's like a big tunnel or cave-like thing of trees growing over each other like that. It's very, very interesting. I've seen places like that in other parts of the United States where they have trees growing over and making a tunnel over a road. Interesting. Here's the humor for this week. Here's another real cute picture, story. Friends has no boundaries. Click and put a smile on your face. A bunny and a dog. Probably thinks it's a puppy. Well, most likely. It can't happen here. By Larkin Rose. Oh man. Larkin Rose article. It's pretty good. Well, that's it. That's the end of the Unfiltered News for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I mean, it's been pretty wild out there, maddening to say the least. A lot of stuff in the news, a lot of things happening, a lot of scandals in the Obama administration, lots and lots of things. I'm just wondering when it will all end finally, and Obama gets impeached or has to step down due to it. And then we get Biden in there, and we get to do the same to him. Oh yes. Bring down the entire administration because they've just turned rogue. Government gone rogue. I mean, when you have compliance with the Republicans, which now I'm thinking the only reason we got compliance between the Republicans and the Democrats on all this fascist, Marxist type activity is the NSA. The NSA's been spying on Congress in the Senate. And all they have to do, I mean, it was a guy who was against the Obamacare, can't think of his name, who's a representative, and he was totally against the Obamacare. Just before the voting, he changed his mind. I wonder what the FBI, the NSA had on him, and what they showed him that they had, where he said, okay, I'll do what I'm told. See? They're compromised. The entire government, Congress and Senate is compromised. They need to be removed and replaced. An emergency election needs to be done with people who are constitutionalists and common law studiers taking the place of these people. They got to be replaced. They've been compromised by NSA. They got too much dirt on them. They can be blackmailed. They can get their arm twisted and they'll do whatever they're told. Fall in line. We need to stop this. We need to stop the madness. We need to stop it now. Until next time, be good, or be good at it, or be better at it. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. It's Father's Day weekend. Say Happy Father's Day to all your fathers. Until next time, good day.